Hey everyone, my name is Mark Calloway, and my presentation is on the city of Walnut Creek and how we can create a more well-rounded staff that benefits not only the person that's getting trained, but also the organization as a whole. So my where my where I come from on this is I have been with the city for 15 years, and I have been awarded the opportunity and being able to be trained in multiple different areas. I started off as an athletic director for them, leading sports programs that way, then getting an offer to help run their summer camp. So I got to really learn the back end admin work of running a summer camp, hiring staff, interviewing staff, and going from there. And then I got once again afforded the opportunity to get office admin work and POS work, point of sales, and registrations, and learning that whole office admin back end duty. So I've been, able to train across and seeing how it's benefited me and how I am looked at through my supervisors on being well trained. And so I wanted to create something that creates kind of repeat of what I had, allowing for better rounded staff to kind of push the city organization into the future and moving on from there. So for me, it was all about creating a training system for new staff that is available to all of them. And if the supervisors are willing, they can offer this training to the staff to become a more well-rounded staff. Once they pick out staff that they find has been doing a good job, we stick them into this training. They get a lot extra training, and now are able and capable of promoting within the company and helping the company out overall, being with fresh ideas and new faces, and always kind of adding something new to the conversation, which is always important when you're kind of coming where we are and trying to just always create something for the community. So I learned all my information where I got by how I approach this and stuff like that is, like I said, I kind of took my background and how can I apply that out to everyone else. And so what I did is I did a survey monkey, which is just really easy to set up, and I was able to send it out to a lot of staff that I interviewed and hired, and also to my supervisors, kind of two different ones, asking similar questions though. What would you like to see from this company? Where do you see yourself? What do you want to happen? All that kind of like those general questions, and just kind of building off of one another and seeing what can happen. I was able to talk to a few people in person, which was nice to kind of get their ideas and pick their brain. Some people that work below me and some people that work above me, supervisors and managers and stuff. So that was also nice too, to kind of get the in-person conversation and also kind of the written responses back from that survey monkey. What I found out, and when I looked at the data, starting to analyze it, they were very common in what they kind of wanted and needed. So for the people that were just starting off, they were wanting to if they were interested in the company and looking to promote, they were wanting the training. They're wanting to move up. They like what the organization provides and can provide for them. They like working for the organization. It's a good atmosphere. It's really welcoming, really friendly, really casual, but you also get your work done. So it's a nice little work atmosphere. So that was nice to hear from them, that they want the training and want to move up and want to be part of the company if possible. And then from the other side, they would love to give training to specific people that as potential candidates to move up to the company or organization, I should say, and be beneficial, maybe supervisor and manager someday, with like they get an eye for seeing that, which is kind of cool because that's kind of what I wanted, and you kind of get both answers. So it kind of worked out really well. So that was kind of nice to see that broken down. So for me, one strategy that I would like to talk about, and kind of my main strategy of this whole thing, is creating that training program. And what does that look like? For me, that training program looks like this: 2 years you could be fully functional. Even a year, you can be fully functional, and then 2 years, you're kind of seeing the results of what's happened. So for me, like right away, say we started January 2020, by March 2020, this is what has happened. We are putting together the training. So people like me, I would love to be a part of this in the forefront of it. So I would be one of the people in this committee, I'll call it. And then I'd grab from people from other departments, and we would sit down as often as possible, once every other week, every couple of weeks, whatever it may be, to bring all the trainings that we offer and sit down at a table and say, this is a key training, this is a key training, this is a key training, that's a key training. Okay, how do we condense that training down to make it beneficial but not overwhelming if we're going to kind of give these people week-long trainings of multiple different things, or even 2 weeks long training, every other day? How can we do this? So it'd be creating the training schedule, the regimen. How do we implement the training? Because it's one thing to be trained in it, it's then another to actually be thrown into the fire per se and kind of see things. You can be talked to over and over and over, but until you do it live in person, you don't really get a good grasp of what's going on. You can be trained in our Perfect Mind POS system, and then all of a sudden you get there and something goes wrong. So you need to be able to kind of feel it out while you're getting trained in it. So it's kind of on the job training and sitting and listening and development training as well. So that would be the first couple of months, like I said, to develop that stuff right there, that whole training program. From then, it would be, okay, let's figure out and identify good candidates that we would like to train and we think can take advantage of this training and be really beneficial to us once they get that training, to stick around and help us move to where we want to go. So I'd say that would take close to 6 months, kind of just really watching. Once we identify that person, let's watch them and make sure they're really doing what they're doing. Maybe throw a little extra task their way to make sure they can handle a little more workload on their plate. And then once we've identified them, reach an offer out to say, here, this is what we want to do. We'd love to train you, and this is the training we have to offer. Is that something you're interested in? Then later after that, we would be doing the training for them and then putting them out into the field in different areas. So like I said, for me, on my side, it would be doing the programming, helping program and set up some camps, some activities for adults, seniors, all that kind of stuff, putting into that. Another, trial, working at the registration, the back end, the office admin, doing POS, registration, all that kind of stuff, learning that kind of stuff. Like I said, registration, all that. Then you kind of really get a sense, okay, this person has everything we want. Now, where can they be best utilized? Maybe the arts department is having a little trouble, so we put them there to kind of generate new ideas and moving on from there. Or, hey, the rec side of things is struggling to find new ideas and new camps to bring up. Let's bring them there. So this is how we can then kind of push it in the right direction, is once we find those people, we move and put them together. The second year is really, they've been placed for 3 or 4 months. They're comfortable in what they're doing. And now it's to bring new faces into that training program and show what this training can do by showing the people that have been through the training first and now are successfully, hopefully, continuing with our company, moved up within our company. That would allow for, I think the biggest thing about bringing new people in with a well-rounded training is some people have stale ideas and they're fine going in the same routine just because it's not dipping in program registration or revenue. Doesn't mean it's not necessarily losing traction. I think as a city government agency, you always need to be kind of developing and creating new ideas and activities. Yes, you have your staple things, but there's always something to be offered and a new trend going on. Or, trends are falling out. Sports aren't as popular as they once were. Look at football, for example. In our area, football used to be very popular 10 years ago. Now high schools are having hard times fielding teams. So things change. Now rugby's very popular and lacrosse is becoming more popular. So it's now creating programming for that and going from there. You look at trends of kind of age groups, how that's always fluctuating, the age range of kids, and so it's creating programming and training people how to think of ideas for how do we create appropriate age programming for kids in our community and people in our community, seniors, adults, all that kind of thing. So a scenario for me would be, how can we create that? How can we create the training? Boom, we train them. Ideally, they like what they do, and the supervisors like what they do, and they get promoted from a part-time to a full-time position. That would be the best case scenario for me. And for, like I said, things are always changing, and training like this to develop a more well-rounded staff is almost necessary. Having just to focus on one area isn't really good enough anymore. You need to have a broader scope to really develop a program or ideas that are beneficial through the whole kind of arts and rec department. Because if you only know this little niche, you might be able to do well, but they're going to grow out of that. You need to, how can we keep them here and then keep them, let's say as toddlers to young teens to adults to seniors. How can we keep them doing our programs all the way through? Don't just worry about here. We need to worry about keeping them the whole way through. So that's kind of the conclusion of this, is how can we keep them in a broad spectrum? And how do we do that? We give them this broad training, put it together so that they can see the whole picture instead of just being focused in one area at a time. Hope you had a good time in listening to that. Have a good rest of your semester and enjoy all the other videos.